We always have to sit back in everything you do, that you have to learn to keep your emotions in check. If you can't keep your emotions in check, it can cause you to do something. I'm gonna also tell you something too, especially when you're dealing with like your emotions and jealousy. That stuff can push people away from you, make people don't want to deal with you. I have also spoken about the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. Revelation 19:10. Come tell you something. People don't like emotional people. You know, people expect it out of a woman. It's never good in a man. If you a man and you emotional all the time, niggas sit back and look at you, that nigga might be sweet. You ain't never known me to be emotional.
But your breath makes me.
Me and Goldie were talking to a brother from Isaiah. Our brother Isaiah from Ohio. And he was like, "You're so angry." He thought I was angry. I'm like, "Nigga, I ain't angry. Far from it. You'll know if I was angry." Huh? No, he wouldn't like me. I'm telling you, the Incredible Hulk, my favorite character too, wouldn't like me if I was angry. A lot of times I just be dead serious about what I be talking about. I don't be angry. You'll know if I was heated. You seen me heated once, because you made mention like, you angry. Yeah, when we was in Georgia. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That time right there, yeah, I was angry. Very much so. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, "See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren, they that have the testimony of Yahshua. Worship God, for the testimony of Yahshua is the spirit of prophecy." Y'all always need to remember that. Every prophet in this book was testifying of this man. 1 Peter 1:6, maybe 1:8. That's real though. I'm not an angry dude. So if you see me snapping like that, that means you done angered me, and you really have to sit back and look at what you doing that I done called this man to get angry. Because people who know me know I don't anger easily. Make it 9. Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, searching what manner of time the spirit of the Messiah, which was in them, did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of the Messiah and the glory that should follow, unto whom it was revealed, that not unto themselves, but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Ruach HaKodesh sent down from heaven, which things the angels desire to look into. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind. That means tighten your mind. Now, you know what that means, to gird up the loins of your mind? You know what that would mean? Y'all know what that means, to gird something up? Yeah, tighten it up. Mean tighten your belt up. You know what I'm saying? That's when they tell kids, tighten your belt up so your pants don't fall. See, a lot of y'all need to tighten up the gird, look, your mind up. You gotta tighten up. A lot of you niggas loose. See, some of y'all do like it is. You go somewhere, you've been ate too much food, you want to let your baby crazy, and you want to let your belt loose so your belly can be free. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You done been and ate too much food, and you don't let that. Oh, you want to fall back. Can't do that no more. Listen, why he tell you that. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahshua HaMashiach, as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance. But as he which hath called you is Kodesh, so be ye Kodesh in all manner of behavior, because it is written, be ye Kodesh, for I am Kodesh. Remember how we looked at about a week or so ago about not being able to say you sinning because you didn't know. Now we sit back and we just sat back and seen he say, do not fashion yourself according to your former lust, your former desires, when you didn't know no better. Now some of y'all been walking around here long enough to where you should know better, that you should not still be reacting and doing some of the same things you still doing. Because he just told you don't fashion yourselves or make yourselves after how you used to be. And some of y'all are still just how you used to be, which means you never changed in the first place. But let's look at what we came here to look at today. Genesis 37, is it?
Right.
Let me see, is it 37? Genesis 34. So she's happy to see you. Put your dress down there. Nightgown dress, it's all the same. Either way it go, your business out the street. Genesis 34 and 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. Now ain't that something that these niggas sit back and say sex equal marriage, and he laid with her, but yet he wasn't married to her? How did he miss that one? I guess they gonna say because he wasn't an Israelite, that's why I didn't count, huh? And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, and lain with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longed for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife. So you know what two things we just seen right here? Sex don't equal marriage for one, and it says she was defiled. So what happened then? She didn't get raped. 1 Thessalonians 4. Matter of fact, before we look at 1 Thessalonians 4 and 1, Mark chapter 7, verse 1. Make it, verse 1. Mark chapter 7, verse 1. And he said, that which come out of the man, that defile the man. From within out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. Of the two things that we just, all the things we just read, two of those things happen in what we read. Who knows what those two things will be? Close your legs. Leah, close your legs. Huh? Fornication and lasciviousness. Now let's look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. That's the two things that happen. Lasciviousness means just lustful behavior. He looked at her, he wanted her. He went and laid with her. Say she was defiled, means she was made unclean. What could have made her unclean but fornication? But these niggas say fornication ain't in the book. Ain't no such thing as sex before marriage. Law just condemned that.
Stop.
Furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahshua, as you have received of us, how you ought to walk and to please God. So you would abound more and more. For ye know what commandments we gave you by the Lord Yahshua. For this is the will of God, even your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication, that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor. Every last one of y'all should know how to keep your hands off your vagina, your hands off your penis, and if you ain't married, your genitals need to stay in your clothes unless you're using the bathroom or taking a bath or changing clothes.
What's that?
Look what he said. Not in the lust of conspicuance, even as the Gentiles which know not God. We looking at Shechem. Was he not a Gentile? Did he know God? But he, guess what? He carried himself in that lust now, didn't he? See how we can validate this man writing straight out the law? But Paul, a false prophet, though. That no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any matter, because the Lord is an avenger of all such, as we have forewarned you and testified. For God has not called us unto uncleanness, but unto codestness. Just said the woman would defile. That wasn't y'all's way for that to happen to her. Come on back to Genesis 34. Say, I just loves my daddy. So we in verse 9. Make it verse 8 again, though. No, I'm sorry. Let's look at 5. Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved. And they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, and laying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem long for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade you therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what you shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. They said unto them, we cannot do this thing. Listen to what he said. They said unto them, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But this we will consent unto you, if ye will be as we be. But this will we consent unto you, if you will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. Now he just sat back and said, let's go to Genesis 17 so we can see where it come from. He just told them, he said, man, we can't mess with somebody uncircumcised. That'll be a dishonor to us. Don't the law tell us we ain't supposed to do that? That's why Peter said what he said in Acts chapter 10, ain't it? We might go look at that then. Y'all think that just come from you think that just come from Deuteronomy? There's other places back it up. Thank the Lord for the word. Genesis chapter 17, I guess we look at verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, or El Shaddai. Walk before me, hold on, and be thou perfect. Walk before me, and be thou perfect. Walk before me, and be thou perfect. Because when we sit back and we look at Yahshua, he walked before him and was perfect, right? Let's look at something else. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant was with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name be any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For the father of many nations have I made thee. I will make thee exceeding fruitful. I will make nations of thee. Kings shall come out of thee. I will establish my covenant between me and thy seed after thee, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession. I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thy and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. You shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house, or bought with money, or any stranger which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. My covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. So he just gave him, Abraham, a covenant of circumcision. Why do you think he gave him this covenant of circumcision? He gave it to him. He was setting him apart. He was setting him apart. He was setting him apart. You notice that he made sure to make mention. Make sure you do it. Everybody in your house. Every stranger that's with you, that's bought with your money. All of them do it. Now he just noticed that he said every man child that's how many days old? Now how do you think that would relate to the Messiah? Well, let's sit back and see. He had to be circumcised too, didn't he? Well, let's look at John 7:37 first. And then we'll look at John 20. Y'all know John 7:37. Brother just told me now they making it where they gonna pay for circumcision. Because they had stopped charging. They had, I mean, would it be free now? Because they were making you pay for it. Is that correct? Is it free now? No, it wasn't no norm because they weren't. I know it has been deemed a medically unnecessary procedure, and therefore, if you wanted it done, you had to pay for it. Like when I was born, my mom didn't have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I know my homeboy just told me he paid like $300-400 for little Carrie to get circumcised. I know Mom said she had to pay out of pocket for Kingston to get circumcised. I know Brittany said she had to pay out of pocket for Joshua to get circumcised. A lot of insurance places, they don't cover that. No, I know that you got to pay, but somebody just recently told me that they're allowing people to that they deemed it medically necessary now, and now you don't have to pay. No, not really, boy. I'm talking about, man, you got people, they had some people down here in Jacksonville want to protest, down on Jack's Beach were protesting against circumcision. Now you got some white folks feel like that's barbaric. Well, I mean, they go from state to state. I don't think they from here. I know Trav told me they tried to circumcise his son on the first day after he had told the people don't circumcise him until the 8th day. And the nurse came in there and asked him, go ahead. Yeah, I know they don't. Yeah, I don't even want to watch all that. I got a couple men told me they got it done since they were grown. That had to suck.
Come on, man. Let's stop talking about peace. That's just making me crazy.
Well, it's just circumcision, man.
Come on, bro. It's not just circumcision.
Yeah. We ain't even got that part. Yeah, if you grown, you get it done, it's going to have you incapacitated. You ain't going to be able to move. My little cousin ain't circumcised. Sean ain't circumcised. Shoot, his mama don't follow their way. She don't care nothing about that. It's too late now. That nigga, he 11 years old. He finna be 11 years old. Sucks for him. John 7:37. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahshua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. What feast is this? So if it's the last day of the feast, what day of the feast is it? So that means he was crying out like he was circumcised. I guarantee you, a grown man gets circumcised. I bet he hollered. I bet you hollered. So I said he didn't want to talk about it no more, so it made him feel uneasy. You feel uneasy, son? Now he don't want to talk.
No, not your son or your child.
Huh?
No, not your son or your child.
Man, this nigga here. I'm about to drop kick you somebody. John 20:26. I'm about to cut me somebody. 24. I'm about to get me some. Leah, close your legs. 24.
You're already gone.
Lizzie.
You don't need question mark.
But Thomas, one of the 12 called Didymus, was not with them when Yahshua came. The other disciples therefore said unto them, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hands the print of the nail, and put my finger in the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again, his disciples were within. Excuse me. And Thomas with them. And then came Yahshua, the door being shut, and stood in the midst and said, peace be unto you. What y'all think that would mean? It said after 8 days. So what that talking about? If it's after 8 days, what is it talking about? Sit back and think about it. We talking about circumcision. Look at John 21. No, he had been circumcised. Y'all don't realize he was a newborn child, right? Y'all do realize that, right? John 21. Let's look at that real fast. And after that, Romans chapter 1. She does that consistently. She does. Yeah, you got your own stunt, baby. John 21. The first day of the week come, Mary Magdalene, early when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and see the stones taken away from the sepulchre. And she run and come to Simon Peter, to the other disciple whom Yahshua loved, and said unto them, they have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre, and we know not where they have laid him. Now we know what Romans 1:1 say, right? Or Romans 1:4, right? We don't got to go read it. Say he was declared to be the Son of God with what? With power. And by the Spirit of what? Kodesh. And by the resurrection of what? The dead. So when you look at these 8 days, you got some people think it's like the 8th day of the week. All this is just 8 days later, right? Came from the first day of Passover. 8th day of Passover. You know what I'm talking about? Passover been concluded when it happened, which means he say all male children got to be circumcised on the 8th day. So when he was born and became the Son of God, don't you think he would have to been circumcised too? Come on back to Genesis 17. You all right over there, man? Got your Al Bundy going on. You want to fight? Man, I don't think you can whoop me, Cole. I've been fighting for 3 days and 15 minutes, nigga.
I'm fighting 4 days and 12 minutes.
See what I'm saying? Straight up, you know what I'm saying? I've been getting it in, man. And I had 45 seconds. I done had 45-second breaks. Man, I remember that dude when I was locked up one time. He told that dude, man, don't mess up your perfect record. You 0-0. I said, what that nigga for? Yeah, he messed up his perfect record too because he jumped up off that bunk and that white dude beat the snot out of him. dude said, come over here and come get your son. He went on over there too. No, it was old Hillbilly. That Hillbilly jumped off that bunk barefoot and beat a brace off that nigga. He should have beat that nigga. That nigga was a serial rapist and a killer. I didn't know it till I got out though. But I want you to look at verse 10. This man say this covenant you'll keep is between you and your seed. Every man child. It'll be a token between him and you. Now we got to sit back and look at it. Circumcision would give you the right to the land or right to the inheritance. Now we sitting back looking at, he told these people in Genesis chapter 34 that if they did it, they would be the same as us. Now I want you to look at Acts chapter 15. Because the brother asked me, should we get first? I'm going to tell him, man, it's more important to be circumcised in the heart. But I ain't going to tell you not to get circumcised. I'm going to show y'all the point is, you can have that foreskin cut off your penis. That actually absolutely means nothing. Because you don't get circumcision of your penis based on faith. You get that whether you believe in Yahshua or not. But the circumcision of the heart, you can only get that through faith. Genesis 15:1. And certain men which came from Judea taught the brethren and said, except you be circumcised after the manner of Moses, you cannot be saved. When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question. Now you sit back and look at Paul's and the apostle. They say, you know what? You need to holler at the other brothers and the elders about this here. This serious. Because see, obviously Paul and Barnabas were going against them on that. Now what? That's what people get upset. Matter of fact, that dude Boo would say, I don't agree with Paul on the circumcision. Because the book just sat back and said Paul was going against him on this. And being brought on their way by the synagogue, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles, and they caused great joy unto all the brethren. And when they were coming to Jerusalem, they were received of the synagogue and of the apostles and elders, and they declared all the things that God had done with them. But there rose up a certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses. And the apostles and elders came together for to consider of this matter. And when they had been much disputing, Peter rose up and said unto them, men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago God made choice among us that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe. Now, how they gonna sit back and say Cornelius was an Israelite and Peter just stood up and said, God determined by my mouth that these people should get the word. And God know the heart, and God which know the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Ruach HaKodesh, even as he did unto us. Do y'all notice something? That when he gave them men that spirit, you think they were circumcised in that Acts chapter 10? They weren't. More than likely they weren't. More than likely they weren't. More than likely they weren't circumcised. Yeah. Yeah. Not in the flesh. And he put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith. Now therefore, why tempt ye God to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we are able to bear? But we believe that through the grace of our Lord Yahshua HaMashiach, we shall be saved, even as they. See, you have Christians who take this and mean, see, the law is a yoke. You can't bear it. You try to put that on us. That wasn't what he was talking about. All these people are talking about is circumcision right here. Then all the multitude kept silence and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring what miracles and wonders God had wrought among the Gentiles by them. And after they had held their peace, James answered and said, men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simeon hath declared how God at the first did visit the Gentiles to take a people for his name. And to this agree the words of the prophets, as it is written, after this I will return and will build again the tabernacles of David, which is fallen down. I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up. that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles on whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who do all these things. Known unto God are all his works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble them not, which are from among the Gentiles, are turned to God. But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. For Moses of old time have in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogue every Sabbath. Then it pleased the apostles and elders with the whole synagogue to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch, Paul and Barnabas namely,
Yes.
Judas surnamed Barsabbas, and Silas, chief men among the brethren. Hold on a second, y'all. And they wrote letters by them after this manner. The apostles and elders and brethren send greetings unto the brethren which are the Gentiles in Antioch, Syria, and Cilicia. For as much as we have heard that certain went out from us have troubled you with words, subverting your souls, saying you must be circumcised and keep the law, to whom such we gave no such commandment. It seemed good unto us, being assembled with one accord, to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of the Lord, Yahshua HaMashiach. You heard what that man just said? Men who done hazarded their lives for the Lord. That's what I was telling y'all earlier. See, when you actually get up to go preach this word, you're going to put your life on the line. I don't think a lot of y'all really realize that, because you've been seeing a whole bunch of false prophets all your life. So you'll sit back and think, how could a man be putting his life on the line for the word? He ain't no Martin Luther King. They ain't out there protesting. You know what I'm talking about? But these niggas didn't get killed because of any righteousness that they were doing. These niggas got killed because they overstepped their bounds of the wicked people who they were in bed with. So y'all got to understand and know something. When you don't get in bed with these people, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. See, come on, look at it now. He says, we have sent therefore Judas and Silas, who shall tell you all the same thing by my mouth. For it seemed good to the Ruach HaKodesh and to us to lay upon you no great burden and these necessary things. Now you got all these people now. Now these people sitting here telling you that these men are telling these men that they ain't got to keep no laws, right? Well, let's see about, anybody know what the laws say about that? Because if we're going to be one body and one person, and we're going to look at Joshua chapter 5 too, because they said this here, man. Does everybody need to be circumcised? Everybody do need to be circumcised. Let's look and see how. First we'll deal with them, how they got to keep the law. Don't think these people ain't got to keep no law. Don't let these people sit here and make you stupid. Joshua 5 and 7 first. Oops, excuse me. What you went and got from the ale house, man? Why you ain't bring me nothing?
Yeah. You give me no cash.
I like beef brisket salads.
I had no beef brisket salad.
We eat beef brisket salads.
No beef brisket salad?
You do eat beef brisket. Briskets of beef. And their children, whom they raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised. For they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcise all the people, they abode in their places in the camp till they were whole. And Yah said unto Yahshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off of you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. Now we look at verse 2, we can sit back and see something what he told Joshua to do here in this same chapter. At the time, Yah said unto Joshua, make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time. And Joshua made him sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Israel at the heel of the foreskins. Now we see this is, what is this being a similitude to? Because he said do it a second time. The circumcision of the heart. So when we sit back and we see with these Gentiles, he telling them, you know what I'm talking about? Y'all just do this right here. So he wasn't stressing. That's why he wasn't stressing them to do it. That's why they, you know what I'm talking about? But then we sit back and look at that Gentiles being circumcised would come from who? You seen they just did that in Genesis 34 though. So if they did, it wouldn't be nothing wrong. I tell people, man, if it's on your heart to go do it if you ain't circumcised, I go ahead and do it. You're going to be hurting for a little bit, but you're going to, let's look at Ezekiel 44:9 real fast. But the key thing is, and we'll look at some of the things that Paul spoke on the matter. Ezekiel 44:9. Make it 5. And they say that turtleneck make you cry. Make it 4. Ezekiel 44:4. 4:4:4. You know who said 4:4:4 to what? He's supposed to be a basketball fan. Any of y'all know who said 4:4:4? That would have been Moses Malone when the Sixers ran through and won a championship. Yeah, that nigga said 4:4:4. I think they won 1 in 5 or they didn't sweep everybody. He said, then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of Yah filled the house of Yah. I fell upon my face. And Yah said unto me, Son of man, mark well and behold with thy eyes, and hear with all thy ears all that I say unto thee concerning all the ordinances of the house of Yah, and all the laws thereof. Mark well the entering in of the house, and every going forth of the sanctuary. Thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus saith Yah, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations, and that you have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart, and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it. Even my house, when you offer my bread, the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. What y'all think that's talking about? He said, you have polluted my house. You brought into my house strangers, uncircumcised in heart, uncircumcised in flesh, into my sanctuary. They have polluted it. Even my house. You broke my covenant because of all your detestable things. Think about it. Think about it. What you say, what? No. What you think? No. What you think, what? No. What you think, what? Sit and think about it now. You brought strangers, uncircumcised in heart and in flesh. You have polluted my house with your abominations. Let's look and see. Let's look at Matthew chapter 15. Matthew 15:1. Who is the sanctuary? Y'all saw the sanctuary, right? We read that on Wednesday, right? He the house, right? So how did they bring strangers uncircumcised in the heart and flesh into it to pollute it? There you go. All right. Mark 15:1. And straightway in the morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council, and bound Yahshua and carried him away and delivered him to Pilate. And Pilate asked him, art thou the king of the Jews? And he answering said unto him, thou say. And the chief priests accused him of many things, but he answered nothing. But Pilate asked him again, saying, answer thou nothing? Behold, how many things they witness against thee. But Yahshua yet answered nothing, so that Pilate marveled. So let's drop down to verse 26. We'll make it 25. And it was the 3rd hour. So what day? What time of day was it? It was 9 o'clock. It was the 3rd hour, and they crucified him. And the superscription of his accusation was written over, King of the Jews. And with them they crucified two thieves, the one on his right hand and the other on his left. And you can go right back up and look at verse 22. And you can see how them people crucified him and parted his garments. Those are strangers, right? Uncircumcised in heart and flesh. Because you know Pilate them were uncircumcised in the flesh, so you know he was uncircumcised in the heart too. 27 again. And with them they crucified two thieves, the one on his right hand, the other on his left. And the scripture was fulfilled, which said, he was numbered with the transgressors, and they that passed by railed on him, wagging their heads and saying, thou destroy the temple and build it in 3 days? They go to the house. Save thyself and come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests mocking said among themselves with the scribes, he saved others, himself he cannot save. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, descend now from the cross, that we may see and believe. And they that were crucified with him reviled him. And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And the 9th hour Yahshua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is being interpreted, my God, thou hast forsaken me. And some of them that stood by when they heard it said, behold, he called Elias. And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink, saying, let us see whether Elias will come to take him down. And Yahshua cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. If he gave up the ghost, is he defiled? Is he polluted? Huh? Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? So now we see, so what are these abominations that they done then? There you go. So those are those 7 abominations from Proverbs then. So you just seen how they brought men uncircumcised in heart and flesh into his sanctuary to pollute it. Because you know ain't no Jews wasn't finna bring no Gentiles in no temple. Let's look and see. Acts chapter, what it is, 18. Man, who that got all that going on back there?
Babe, I'm hungry.
I hear a whole conversation going on. And mute your phone. I don't want to hear it. Y'all hold your peace. Y'all ain't got to say nothing. Y'all hold your peace. I don't want to hear that stuff. Nah, I don't joke. You know what I'm joking. I ain't joking right now. This serious business right here. I don't know what this is. You're talking about. Hold on, y'all. Oh, man. I don't know. But I mean, that ain't no big deal. Sometimes, yeah, it be like that. I'm telling you, man, messing with these things, man, you can catch anything. This is a free conference call line. Ain't no telling what this stuff can catch. One of y'all, man, because you know that them people don't never say nothing back, so they can't be hearing us. But you said, and they wonder what this nigga talking about. Who is this nigga? Acts chapter 24. Acts 24, and verse 8. That might not be what I want, because they said they seen this nigga bring, I can't remember what it was, let me see. Because they said they seen Paul bringing Gentiles in the temple. Paul said, you ain't never seen me bring no Gentiles in no temple. They were with him, and the people sat back and assumed that Paul had brought them in there. And they were hot. You know, when somebody got a problem with you, y'all drop that Acts 24, that ain't what I want. When somebody, when somebody got a problem with you and they trying to find something on you, they'll come up with anything. Come and tell you something, man. When we sit back and we look in this book about, come over here to Acts chapter 21 though, about verse 18. But when you sit back and you look at this book, a lot of people, because of jealousy, they ended up wanting to kill somebody because they were insufficient with their own selves. And they see somebody else doing something, they end up getting mad and want to do something to that person. Yeah, I mean, you got a whole long list of them, from Cain and Abel to the people of Yahshua, to Jacob and Esau. Yeah, Saul and David. You got all that. Yeah, because Satan was jealous. Eve was jealous. She wanted to be like her husband. She wanted to be like God. 17, Acts 21 and 17. And we were, hey, somebody mute your phone. I don't want to hear your dog, man. I don't like dogs in person, so you know I don't want to hear them on no phone. Hey, y'all gotta do something. You gotta do something about that now. Come on now. And when we were come to Jerusalem, the brethren received us gladly. And the day following, Paul went in with us under James, and all the elders were present. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord, and said unto him, Thou see, brother, how many thousands of Jews are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law. And they are informed of thee, that thou teach all Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after their customs. What is it therefore that the multitudes must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come? Do therefore this, that we say to thee, we have 4 men which have a vow on them. Take them and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know these things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing. But thou thyself also walk orderly, and keep the law. As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangle, and from fornication. And then Paul took the men the next day, purifying himself. You know, there's a dude that say Paul was a men pleaser because he followed these people instructions by going to purify himself. Ain't that something? So then Paul took the men, and the next day purifying himself with them, entered into the temple. Now you can see why he would purify himself, because you can't go in the sanctuary unclean. A dude told me you sin if you sat on a bus seat and a woman had her period, you would be sinning. I want to ask y'all something. If you touch a woman and she on her period, have you sinned? If you touch a dead body, have you sinned? If you got pus coming out your womb, have you sinned? You just unclean. And you know what that means? That just means you just can't go in the sanctuary. That's all uncleanliness limits you from. You can't go in the sanctuary. That's it. That's all that is. You can't go in the sanctuary. That's all that is. No more, no less. Don't let these people sit by here tell you sinning. Oh, you sinning because you could have sat in the bus seat when a lady was on her period. You such your ignorant behind up. That's the best you can come up with. But this comes from a conversation of a man saying that we'll always sin. And that was the first thing he came up with. And the book say nowhere that a woman being on her period. Don't you know if it's a sin? For that mean a woman is damned from the get-go? She could never be saved. Because once a month she going to have that cycle. And she going to have that cycle all the way up till she about 40. So you mean to tell me the only time a woman going to be able to get some salvation is she got to wait till she hit menopause? I mean, you got to sit back, look at people really teach this type of stuff, man. Hey. So, no, that'd be that outburst when people don't want to deal with. You can stop sin. They got to come up with something. So then Paul took the men, and the next day purified himself with them, entered into the temple to signify the accomplishment of the days of purification, until that an offering should be offered for every one of them. And when the 7 days were almost ended, the Jews which were of Asia, when they saw him in the temple, stirred up all the people and laid hands on him, crying out, Men of Israel, help! This is the man that teach all men everywhere against the people and the law and this place, and further brought Greeks also in the temple, and have polluted this Kodesh place. For they had seen before with him in the city Trophimus, an Ephesian, whom they supposed that Paul had brought into the temple. Now I'm going to ask y'all a question. Don't these people teach that those letters he was writing to the Ephesians, don't some people teach that those were Israelites with a Gentile frame of mind? Now how could the Kodesh temple be polluted with an Israelite? Why would another Israelite be upset that another Israelite went into the temple? That makes no sense. But you see how the people say, you heard the people just say, they say, man, he brought Greeks in here. He done polluted this place. You notice how he kept saying he teach against the law? Man, let's look and see what he said in Acts chapter 26. You got niggas all the way quick to scream that Paul taught against the law when he was sitting back trying to tell these people something. Acts chapter 26 is about, make sure this is what I want. Acts 26 and 1. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself. I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because I answer for myself this day before thee touching all the things whereof I'm accused of the Jews, especially because I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews, wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently. He just said he know that King Agrippa was skilled. He said he's an expert in all the customs and questions concerning us. My manner of life from my youth, which was at the first among my own nation at Jerusalem, known all the Jews, which knew me from the beginning, if they would testify that after the most straightest sect of our religion, I live a Pharisee. If he just say the straightest sect of our religion, what did he just say? Oh, he just told you, not only did I keep the law, I was from the most tightest, strictest group. See, that's how we roll. We won't go ahead and just be tight, because guess what? That means the Sadducees might have not have been as tight as they was. Or the scribes might have not been as tight as the Pharisees. That means the Pharisees were strict. They kept it tight. You know what I'm saying? Not just crack ahead, they kept the weight tight. Like, well, you got to do this, that, there, and the other. Ain't? Huh? You got to remember now, straight is the gate and narrow is the way. So before Yahshua was even revealed to him, Paul was walking that straight path. Why do you think he would be able to reveal himself to a man who said, I come from the straightest sect, the strictest sect? Because I know I've had people say, y'all too strict. Y'all don't do nothing. Y'all can't do nothing. Get your do nothing behind from around here. Verse 6, and now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise made of God unto our fathers, unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving God day and night, hope to come, for which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I'm accused of the Jews. Why should it be thought a thing incredible with you that God should raise the dead? I truly thought with myself that I ought to do many things contrary to the name of Yahshua of Nazareth, which thing I also did in Jerusalem. Many of the saints did I shut up in prison, having received authority from the chief priests, in which they were put to death, and I gave my voice against them. Then he began to tell it what happened to him. Then I want you to look at verse 20. We're not going to read everything that what happened to him. Y'all know what happened to Paul. Lord appeared to him, told him, stop being a dummy. Make it 19. Whereupon King Agrippa, I was not disobedient to the heavenly vision. Now I'm going to sit back and look at y'all. A lot of y'all disobedient to the heavenly vision because we already started out of Hosea chapter 12, verse 10. I multiplied visions and use similitudes by the ministry of the prophet. So you getting the heavenly vision manifested through preaching and you disobedient to the word. Why you ain't got a mind like Paul had? I ain't disobedient to what I seen. I ain't disobedient to what I heard. This nigga over here crazy. I seen that too. Y'all hear me? But showed first unto them of Damascus and at Jerusalem throughout all the coast of Judea, and then to the Gentiles, that they should repent and turn to God. Hold on. Repent and turn to God and do works meet for repentance. How many of y'all will lift your hand up right now and say you've been doing works meet for repentance? When I say lift your hand up, I hope ain't no ignorant nigga sitting in the house with his hand lifted up knowing nobody can't see you. I mean lift your voice up. How many of y'all can sit here and be honest and be real and know you bringing forth works meet for repentance? I don't hear. So we got one person. Ain't no trying, you either doing. Ain't no trying. Because if you ain't doing, you failing. I heard that. We only got one person. That's all we got. We only got one person. Hey, I appreciate it. For these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. Having therefore obtained help of God, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great. Listen what he say. Saying nothing, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. That the Messiah should suffer, that he should be the first that should rise from the dead, and show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. Now, never time did man ever say he taught against the law, that he taught against circumcision. He just was letting them know this thing need to be inward while you worry about something on your penis. God's covenant was never just to be a token in your flesh. He wanted to be in fleshly tables of the heart. Let's go back to Ezekiel 44. We still got some other things to get to because the brother asked me about this here. I'm going to tell you something. Me, I'm the type of person, though I know it ain't necessarily required, for anything in this book that they say do, I'm going to do it. I ain't had to worry about it because the Lord made sure I was snipped and clipped long before it even came around. If I would have never heard nothing about a foreskin, I wouldn't even know what it was if I had one or not. So we look at verse 7, or verse 8 of Ezekiel 44. He said, you have not kept the charge of my Kodesh things, but you have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. Thus saith Yah, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel. You notice the thing that he kept mentioning first? What did he keep mentioning first? No. Uncircumcised heart. That's the first thing he mentioned before he mentioned about being in the flesh. He mentioned their heart ain't right, but guess what? Jeremiah chapter 9. We got to sit back and look at where y'all at. They say they want to see where they at. Y'all know where y'all at. Jeremiah 9 and 25. Some of you know you ain't where you're supposed to be at because you just won't circumcise your heart. Behold, the day comes, saith Yah, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart. Now we sit back and we looked at Israel was rejoicing in the fact that my penis been snipped. But you was uncircumcised in the heart, which means you were just the same with Egypt and Edom and Ammon and Moab, and he was going to punish you with them. Romans chapter 2. Now see, we look back and looked at something. We seen all the strangers, Romans 2 and about 24. Make it 23. We sat back and we looked at all the strangers in Abraham's house would be circumcised. We know Abraham being a similitude to the Messiah, all the strangers in his house would have to be circumcised. We sat back and we got Joshua circumcising the people twice, and then we seen, well, Levi and Reuben, or Levi and Simeon, I should say, move the people to circumcise some Gentile that they could be one. He said, we'll be the same. Thou make thy boast of the law through breaking the law, dishonor thy God. Now you got men doing this now. They might not be in people's face talking about get circumcised, but they're like, we Israel, we Israel, we Israel, we Israel. So you make your boast of this, but you end up breaking this man's word when you commit sin, dishonoring him. For the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, as it is written. For circumcision truly profit if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. Ain't that what Jeremiah told you? Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? Well, let's look at something. In Genesis chapter 15, in verse 1. He said, if the Gentiles, the uncircumcision, keep the righteousness of the law, would not his uncircumcision be counted that he circumcised? Genesis 15 and 1. I don't know, this might not make no sense. They might make somebody angry one. After these things, the word of Yah came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield, and thy exceeding great reward. Abram said, Yah, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus. Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of Yah came unto him, saying, this shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto them, so shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yah, and he counted to him for righteousness. So that's the righteousness of the law, to believe God, isn't it? So if the Gentiles believed on the righteousness of Yah, which is Yahshua, and they were uncircumcised in the flesh, would that make them circumcised? Because was Abraham circumcised in his flesh here? He wasn't. So that means, but he was just judged righteous before God, though. So now you can see how these people were able to receive the Ruach HaKodesh even though they were uncircumcised when they got it. Come on back over here to Romans chapter 2. Verse 26 yet again. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? And shall not uncircumcision which is by nature, if it fulfill the law? He say, if the uncircumcision by nature fulfill the law, he say, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision doth transgress the law. So he say, which one is better? This man ain't got his foreskin cut off, but he obeyed God's word. You got yours, but you a sinner though. Who do you think God gonna receive? This is what he trying to tell him. And that Jeremiah chapter 9 backed that up, didn't it? When we look at Abraham, that backed that up. That's what these Israelites be failing to realize. These people are not circumcised in their flesh, but they believe in God and obey him. You are. That's why he say the letter. You want to be so stuck on being circumcised on your penis, but your heart not circumcised. Oh, y'all hear me? No, that thing went dead. So, verse 28. For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly. And circumcision is that of the heart, and in the spirit, and not in the letter, who prayed is not of men, but of God. When we sat back and looked at what we read in Acts 15 and Acts 21, those people were trying to glory in them being circumcised in the flesh, wasn't it? So they wanted to praise of men. That's why he said, how can you believe which seek honor one from another? When you sit back and look at the Gentile comment, they wasn't seeking to get honor from us. They were seeking to get the honor from God, because they seen the door of salvation was open unto them. One that had not been previously opened before. Let's look at Ephesians chapter 6. Yeah, I think it's Ephesians. It's Galatians chapter 6, pardon me. Galatians chapter 6 and about verse 11. Just want y'all to know it's going to be cold tomorrow. And windy. Better put your top hat on. Huh?
Chief meteorologist doing part-time.
I appreciate it. I went to school for it for 3 days. And then I switched classes. It's too many words I didn't know what they meant. I didn't want to look them up. You see how large a letter I've written unto you with my own hand? As many as desire to make a fair show in the flesh, they constrain you to be circumcised, only lest they should suffer persecution for the cross of the Messiah. For neither they themselves who are circumcised keep the law, but desire to have you circumcised, that they may glory in your flesh. But God forbid that I should glory, save in the cross of our Lord Yahshua HaMashiach, by whom the world is crucified unto me, and I unto the world. Now we're going to look at something. This man said that God forbid he should glory save in the cross. So what y'all think that means when he said he should glory in the cross? He said, I'm going to glory in the sufferings of the Lord. Luke chapter 9, verse 23. See, a lot of y'all don't want to glory in that because you niggas don't want to go through nothing. And when I say go through something, I ain't talking about sufferings of persecution or hard times. I'm talking about resisting yourself. Giving things up that you like to do or want to do. See, a lot of y'all don't want to do that. You still want to hang with the same people and go to the same places and do the same things and wear the same things and speak the same way and watch the same movies and listen to the same music and watch the same TV shows. I'm just sitting back tripping. All these grown folks around here just talking about a show about whores. That just tripped me out. These niggas going hard about Empire. I ain't sat and watched it. I wouldn't even want to watch it just because Terrence Howard carries a purse. Any grown man that carries a purse is canceled out in my book. I seen a nigga. Nigga had a purse, a black one too. Looked like snake print. This nigga had a better purse than most women.
It's really there in that show, I believe.
Yeah, and then some of the commercials I seen, some of the clothing he wearing is quite suspect.
Yeah. And still got that permanent on.
Still got that perm. Nigga said, nigga don't look at Terrence Howard and think gangster. But yet this nigga's played gangster. The most hardest movie he played was in Dead President, when he was playing that nigga in that pool table talking trash about that nigga old lady till that nigga put that pool stick upside his head. He said, I'm just saying, brother, I'm just complimenting you on your good taste. That nigga put that pool stick upside that nigga head, boy. I seen it too. You know what I'm talking about? But from what I gather, from what people posted, niggas say, are you team whoever Taraji P. Henson character is and this funny looking red woman? But you sit back and look at it, Taraji P. Henson character is a whore. You are knowingly sleeping with another woman's man. And people watch that, applaud it, and praise it. And some of you niggas sit there and watch this junk, but you say you serve God. Niggas go buck wild crazy for scandal, and the show is about a woman who is an adulteress, who goes around getting ramrodded by another woman's husband. And niggas love this slut. And some of you niggas watch that. And be ready for it too.
I see it too.
You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first started talking to T, she was locked into watching Being Mary Jane. It took her a long time to start watching that. I'm like, this woman's a whore. This woman's, she telling me about the show, this woman is knowingly sleeping with another woman's husband. I didn't even know this till the other day. Me and Fat Boy mentioned it to me today too. In that movie 50 Shades of Grey, all this crazy, the perverted stuff this man doing, I didn't know he was a rich white billionaire. Don't you know if he was a poor nigga, wouldn't nobody be talking about none of that stuff he was doing every time I call the police on that nigga? He crazy. But because he rich, it's all right. He just trying to get her to love. These people are sick. I'm telling you, you gotta be careful, man. Man, it's one thing to want to be entertained. It's another thing, man. I'm telling you, man, everything you watch, everything you listen to is seeping to your heart and in your brain. Better be real careful what you watch, what you listen to. Some of you niggas will sit and watch anything. Some of you niggas will sit there and hear a nigga cuss, now they going north, and just sit there and watch it. Why would you even want to watch a nigga talking like that and you can't talk like that? Unless you talking like that because you feel like can't nobody gonna tell on you to know that you talking like that. But the Lord know you talking like that though. So guess what that means? You ain't circumcised in your heart. You know you going to hell, right? I'm telling you, I told you before, man, some of y'all just need somebody to walk by every now and then and tap you on your shoulder. Hey, what's up? You know you're going to hell. And just run off. You know what I'm talking about? And then 10 minutes later, he come back, tap you on your shoulder again, tell you the same thing. Y'all know that game you used to play when you were little, you tap somebody on the shoulder and turn away. And they go to looking like, who tapped me? You ought to realize that death tapping you on your shoulder, and it can come at any time. And when he tap you on your shoulder, you going to be ready. Because this man said you can make your boast, because a lot of you niggas be quick to scream you a Hebrew Israelite, but you ain't living like one though. So why even boast in it? Luke 9:23. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. That's just like what we looked at on Wednesday about not consenting with a sinner. If you're going to glory, you will glory in the sufferings of what you had to take on with God. When we look at what Jeremiah told him in the 26th chapter of the book of Jeremiah. And we can look in Daniel chapter 1 and Daniel chapter 6 and look at these men glorying in their sufferings. When the stuff came on, they said, I'm going to glory in the Lord. I ain't going to glory in no flesh or no power I got. What the first thing I just said? Jeremiah 26. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Y'all better get y'all mind right while y'all playing. Y'all playing with y'all life. How many of you niggas going to play Russian roulette with an AK-47? But you doing it with your soul.
Then he fell, said something like that. He said with a 9. He played Russian roulette with a 9. I forgot how much it went, but I know it was hard.
I bet it was, because he's nice with the words, man.
Yeah. It was hard. It was on
26 and 14. I hear you. Make it 13. Oh, for real now. I seen somebody play Russian roulette on some movie with a semi-automatic. My point exactly. That's why he ended up dead. Because you were supposed to play that with a revolver.
Mm-hmm. You play that with no 9.
You know what I'm talking about? But you nigga playing with this with your soul though. You rolling the dice with your soul. Ah.
Snake eyes.
Snake eyes. Crap out. House wins. Because don't you know every time you roll these dice and go commit sin and snake eyes, house wins. Nigga say your 0.5, you just rolled a 7. Let me get my money, nigga. God is not mocked. That which you sow, you gonna reap. You sow to your flesh, you gonna reap to your flesh corruption. You sow to the spirit, you gonna reap to the spirit life everlasting. I don't think saving your soul is important to a lot of y'all because it's showing the stuff that you do. You know what I'm talking about? For some of y'all, just, oh, I ain't been in the Word that long. That ain't no excuse. It's just stuff you want to do, and you don't care. You gonna do it. You know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all problem was you had people kissing your behind all your life, putting up with your insolence, your stupidity, your bad attitude, your crying, your belly aching, all that type of stuff, and you just feel like that's just supposed to continue. Newsflash, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Now when you get grown, you know why nobody cares when you get grown? Because everybody got stuff going on. Everybody got stuff they dealing with. Guess what? You got to suck it up and keep on trucking. Sometimes, man, you can walk up somebody, man, they could be going through some of the realest stuff. You'll never know it. Don't even talk about it. You wouldn't even be able to tell about it. Look, some of y'all niggas, you can tell when y'all got something going on. It's written all over your face. Something bad go your way, you nigga bound up, you ball up, you cry, you frown your face up. You niggas don't know how. I know you couldn't have been through too much in your life because you don't know how to take nothing when stuff comes. You know what I'm talking about? When you done dealt with some things in your life, when stuff comes, you know how to take it. It don't even bother you. It won't affect you. It won't stress you out. You know what I'm talking about? You won't around here go in an emotional tizzy. You won't get frustrated. You won't go off the deep end. It won't stress you because I done been here before. Man, I done dealt with a lot of stuff. My short period on this earth, I done been homeless. I done been hungry. I done been incarcerated. I done been up against it. You know what I'm talking about? I done had stuff that had to get done in a short period of time. Don't know how we gonna get this done. One way or another, Lord made a way out of nothing. You know what I'm talking about? So when you sit back and look at something, if I done been through all this stuff before, it ain't nothing I really can't handle or take. I can take a little bit more. Cause I done been there. When you ain't never dealt with nothing, man, that's why you always think you hear people say if black folks go broke, they can bounce back. But when white folks go broke, they kill themselves. Y'all never heard that before? You know what I'm saying? I heard that long before. I mean, and that wasn't even being, when I used to hear, we used to hear it wasn't not in no comedy. Like people would really have these genuine situations because they would put it this way. Black people start with nothing, have to be inventive, have to be able to make something out of nothing. So if they came from nothing and got something and went back to nothing, they would know how to be able to survive and maintain because I already came from that. But somebody that always had something and then go to nothing, yeah, put a pistol to my brain. I go drown myself. I hang my, because what am I going to do? They can't take it. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of us ain't never been through that. I'm telling you, man, it's good to go through stuff, man, and build character. You learn more through adversity than you through being comfortable because it builds character. It shows your resiliency and how tough you are and what you can take. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of you niggas can't take nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, man, one thing, man, I'm talking about, man, coming up, man, some of us dealt with some stuff, man. I'm talking about, man, niggas, I'm just, especially men. Men are taught. You don't walk around complaining. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, you either got to do something about it, and if you can't make a move right then, you just got to suck it up till things get better. You know what I'm talking about? But that complaining, because if a man sit around and another man, they do all that complaining, man, nigga might jump up and slap that nigga.
Straight up, nigga, my job, you want to slap.
You know what I'm talking about, nigga? Because the first thing, nigga, shut your whole behind up, nigga. Sound like a woman.
This nigga supposed to be Hispanic. I never heard of a Hispanic nigga complaining, bro. That's just tragic.
But you know what I'm talking about? Ain't that's when I'm talking to the men. When you hear a man complain, that's the first thing calling your mind. That nigga sound like a woman. Because men don't complain. Women complain 24/7, 365. It seems like it's embedded in their DNA. Huh? They say it is. Look, Muffin say it is. And y'all be wondering when y'all be complaining and the man sitting there looking at it like, cause man, I don't want to hear that. Men don't want to hear complaining. I'm telling you that right now. You might feel like, well, I just want you to hear what I'm dealing with. I'll listen. I don't want to hear it though. Am I lying? Any men on here, am I lying?
No,
Well, I'm telling you. It ain't going in one ear out the other with me. It just ain't that even in. It just bounced against my head and it went back where it came from. You know what I'm saying? Niggas know y'all gonna do it, so a man just bear it. But I'm telling you, man, men don't like to hear complaining, because instead of doing all that complaining, just suck it up and deal with it. See, y'all don't know what, some of y'all, especially some of y'all women, y'all know what it like to be 15, 16, 17 years old and responsible for your whole household. That's a lot to put on a young man's shoulders. Some of y'all don't know what it's like. You look your mom in the face and you know that it's killing her because she ain't got the money to pay the rent or pay the gas bill or the light bill. You know what I'm talking about? Put food in the house, and you feel like it's your job to go do this here. Kids in school might be picking on you because your clothes ain't fresh as theirs. But mom dude just ain't got it. So niggas don't go to complaining. They just go, I gotta make something happen. I'm gonna go do this here over here. Men just don't do that. I'm telling y'all something real, man. A man does not respect another man who complains. First, that nigga's got a vagina.
Oh, real.
That nigga got a vagina. Nigga know if a nigga telling you like, yeah, man, I'm dealing with some. See, a man can know when a man just letting it know, like, get some steam off his chest. Like, you know what, man, I'm dealing with some thing, my nigga. Kind of hard on me, but you know what I'm saying? We gonna make a way though. But a man, I'm telling you, I'm just letting y'all women know that if you know, you be looking at your man, you be wondering, man, nigga don't want to hear that complaining, man. Straight up, I'm just be dead honest with y'all. Nigga don't want to hear it. My old lady get mad all the time. I tell her, suck it up. Cause I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. Ain't no need. Ain't no complaining. Ain't gonna. That's why people say I can't complain. Cause what complaining gonna do? You know what's another word biblically in here or scripturally for complaining? Murmuring. See, when you actually complaining, you borderline speaking against God. That's why it's good not to do it. That's all your forefathers did in the wilderness was complain. Y'all do know that, right? That's all they did in the wilderness was complain. That's why he told you, be ye not murmurers. Don't be around here complaining. Because while you around here complaining, man, God ain't even going to move on your behalf because you tempted him running your mouth. That's something to consider now. Jeremiah 26:12. Then spake Jeremiah to all the princes and all the people, saying, y'all sent me to prophesy against this house and against this city, all the words that ye have heard. Now therefore now amend your ways and your doings. Therefore now amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of Yah your God, and Yah will repent him of the evil that he hath promised against you. That's what a lot of y'all don't sit back and realize here. We've obtained grace by Yahshua HaMashiach that the wrath of God don't fall on us. All you got to do is circumcise your heart, like Paul said in Romans chapter 2, which we just read. But you got to amend your ways and your doing, and you got to obey God's word. And that's what y'all don't do. You don't amend your ways. You don't change them. You don't fix them. You don't correct them. You keep doing the same junk over and over again, fall in the same mess, and want somebody to feel sorry for you. Newsflash, nigga, I don't feel sorry for you. I do you just like that dumb hoe that came to me and told me I married him anyway. I told her how stupid she was to her face in front of the whole congregation. I seen it too. And guess what? You do something stupid because the book say rebuke before all that others might fear. That comes from the law. He said you find one that's around here worshiping another God, you stone that nigga first. That the whole house of Israel may fear. That you put that evil away from amongst you. You're going to sit right here and pat you on your head for being stupid. For being a nigga. That's what y'all want to do. You do something stupid. You want somebody. It's all right, baby. Nigga, go find your grandma. I ain't your grandma. Huh? What'd you say? No. Speak up. Speak on it. Shoot, if I'm old enough to be, I'll tell you, if I was old enough to be somebody's grandma, I mean, we was around here, we got a young hoe. I mean, I was a young hoe, then I gave birth to a young hoe, which gave birth to another young hoe. I know some 35-year-old grandmas too. That's not cool. Know how sad that is? Right. More than tragic. Outright disparaging and saddening. But continuing on. As for me, behold, I'm in your hand. Do with me as seem good and meet unto you. But know ye for certain that if you put me to death, ye shall surely bring innocent blood upon yourself, and upon this city, and upon the inhabitants thereof. For of a truth, Yah have sent me unto you to speak all these words. So who was he glorying in? In himself or in God that the sufferings that he had to take? Because Jeremiah locked up. They finna kill him. But who did he put his trust in? He put his trust in Yah. So I glory in Yah. I glory in these sufferings. I ain't going to glory in nothing else. Daniel chapter 1. Y'all do know that, right? That if the Lord put it on my mind to embarrass you in front of the whole congregation, I'm not going to spare you. And ain't nobody excluded. My old lady ain't excluded. Nobody excluded. She be looking crazy. I shame her in front of everybody. I done told her before. She get upset when I do it sometimes. If you can't take me messing with you, you might not be cut out for the position. Sometimes I just be messing with her. Y'all know if I shame her, I ain't gonna cut no corner. It only happened once. I think Mom told me she caught it when it happened. She thought it was a game. Yeah, I went off on that nigga. Told this nigga don't play with her phone. She played with it anyway. Went snap off too. She do something crazy in the house and get married. I come in front of her and tell you, yeah, I'm finna put this nigga out. And she going to hell too. Make sure this is what I want. Might be Daniel chapter 3. Daniel chapter 3. I don't play no games. Ain't sparing nobody. I had a kid that do something stupid. I embarrassed that nigga in front of y'all too. So yeah, I just caught this nigga in the bathroom playing with himself. Look at that nasty nigga. Don't shake that nigga hand. Straight up. So lid, don't shake that nigga hand. You better get that nigga a fist bump. Might want to put a latex glove on before you do that. Straight up. I'm scared of that one. I don't know how deep you got. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up, I'm talking about that's all you're going to get in right here. What's up, Lolo? I'm telling you. Guess what? We done put, what I want, Brittany, no, I done changed Sarah in front of everybody. Man, I ain't sparing none of y'all. I didn't want y'all to know that. None of y'all. I ain't going to hell for none of y'all. So if my old lady and one of y'all, my own sister, my own kid, I will shame you in front of everybody. And if you can't take it, better just go ahead and leave, don't come back. Because the only reason why you'll feel like you can't take it because you know you're finna get ready to go commit some sin or do something stupid. You know you ain't finna do nothing wrong. You better shoot. I ain't worried about that. That don't pertain to me. What y'all say?
Yep.
Tell me something. Daniel chapter 3 verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, and the treasurers, and the counselors, and the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up. Whoso fall not down and worship shall the same hour be cast in the midst of a burning, fiery furnace. Therefore at that time when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kind of music, and all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and they said to King Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. Whoso fall not down and worship that, he shall be cast in the midst of the fiery furnace, midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews, whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Anybody know what their Hebrew names is without turning the page and go look?
Hey, that's like the American flag, huh?
Almost. I say, anybody know their Hebrew names without going to look? My memory serves me right. You got Mishael, Azariah. I can't. The third one escapes me. Now we can turn and look and see what they name.
Oh, cause you don't
I just told him that. I think I said Hananiah, Azariah, me. I said all of them actually. Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. When Hananiah, I forgot his name escaped me.
Alright, so like you said all three.
I said them all. I hit you with the ball.
Go ahead, hit me with the ball because I thought you ought to be alive.
I hit you with the ball.
What kind of nigga is that?
Boy, I'm talking about, boy, somebody we finna get this nigga here a cold in his hand right in here right now. I got a camera on the end of this bottle too. We make sure you clear that guy.
Make sure you what?
Clear. Got no blockages. It's about time for a colon cleanse. Who want to go on a colon cleanse? No, I'm talking about take stuff. It's good to clean your colon out, man. Make sure you don't get no colon cancer. Yeah. I ain't trying to be funny right now.
You gonna take your butt by car wash?
No, man, there's stuff you can take for that. You would be the type of nigga spread your booty hole over, let somebody spread it, somebody clean your colon out. Oh, it's been a while since I seen it. You over here tripping on that. All I remember when that nigga with the fart, I'll give you a colon cleanse. He over here tripping off nothing, professor. I ain't gonna lie to you. First time I seen that movie, man, that movie had me dying laughing. Man, that movie had my homeboy laughing so hard he peed on himself.
Hey, I'm sad. Okay, watch that movie.
Yeah, they do a lot of cussing in there.
I mean, you can watch the clean version, but I was sad because this nigga dressed up in the dress.
Yeah, nigga cross dressing. Yeah, I forgot like that. Nigga cross dressing. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga clowned in that movie that though. It was good while it lasted. I thank the Lord for the word is better though.
Yeah, indeed.
But I ain't gonna lie to you now. That nigga was clowning. That nigga was running there like Richard Simmons talking about, I'm a pony. I'm a pony. You know, it was never as funny after the first time as it was the first time.
It was to me because when I first seen it, I was too young, so I didn't know what nigga talk about. So I watched when I got old, man.
Yeah, see, I was already about 12, 13 years old. You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, I might have been, that movie might have came out later than that. I might have been 14, 15 years old. You know what I'm talking about? I went? Oh, shoot, I was almost, shoot, I was grown. Hey. Shoot, I pretty much grown. We were going hard by then. So I'm tell you something, we used to clown. See, Langston will tell you, we used to rank all the time. See, you couldn't even hang with us if you was a sensitive nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Come tell you now. Everybody in my neighborhood ranked. Some were better than others. You know what I'm talking about? I was pretty good. I ain't lying this lesson. I was pretty good now. Nigga, don't you better come, boy, because I could go for days. You know what I'm talking about? I left it alone as I got older. I said, man, nigga a little too old for that. Man, we couldn't play basketball games. No, I mean, man, it was pretty bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was getting ridiculous. Like, we couldn't go nowhere and do nothing. You know what I'm talking about?
That's pretty much everybody.
No. We would be in the middle of a basketball game.
Yeah, nigga just start foul on nigga.
You know what I'm talking about? And then the game could not be completed.
Yeah, cause nigga laughing too hard. I know what you're talking about.
Not because it's a laughing, because niggas wouldn't stop. And not just one nigga. 8, 9, 10 niggas. Niggas who ain't even on the court.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? We used to be on the, it's one joke, I'll never forget it. That nigga Otis, he dead now. That nigga told that nigga Maurice, that nigga say, nigga, your gangster boss got plied. Nigga sat back, looked at that nigga shoes. The little bone part was yellow. I said, bro, that nigga is a fool. I'm talking about, man, niggas used to rank, nigga was not high. Niggas be dead sober. That nigga Maurice used to just walk up in the hallway with pictures of obscene animals and say that look like you. I remember this nigga told this nigga he had on a racer boots with aluminum foil socks. Nigga say, where you come up with this? See, Langston tripping because he remember. You know what I'm telling you? I'm telling you. He told the nigga sideburns look like bacon strips. But that nigga was a fool though. You know what I'm talking about? Langston will tell you, man, me, him, Fat Boy, and Said used to sit in this nigga room and we be in here right here all day. All day. Ain't got nothing accomplished. We had something to do, we done forgot it. You know what I'm talking about? Man, nigga used to know, man. Nigga come get me and be like, nigga side me, they be like, okay, yeah, nigga, I got an overbite, but you better bring your A game, cause boy, I'm quick with it. You know what I'm talking about? Cause the jokes you could come with, I done heard them. See, one thing about it, you could get on a nigga, see, I used to get on a nigga physical appearance and attack their character. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up, I used to get on a nigga physical and attack their character. I remember that nigga Otis tried to embarrass me in front of women. That's one rule of ranking. You don't never do that. You know what I'm talking about? I say, man, come on, Otis, you gonna do me like that? He said, yeah. He kept going. I said, get off, my nigga. He was going hard. He was feeling good. I said, when he stopped, I said, you done? Boom, 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 boom. The nigga said, you got it, bro. I ain't got nothing. I kept on going. He said, you got it, bro. I ain't got nothing. You know what I'm talking about? I kept on going. They said, come on, bro. Ain't no come on, nigga. Trying to shame me in front of these women. Nigga, you got me bent. Nigga, that's just, you just don't do that. You know what I'm talking about? We used to have a little section where we hung out at, and all of us cracked on each other. But if a woman walked up that was outside our crew, nigga, stop. You know what I'm talking about? This is my homeboy. It was only 2 women that if they walked up, ain't nobody stopped. That was Tasha. Yeah, and that was Tasha and Big Carol. And y'all can hear Fat Boy now, Big Carol. That's it. Because they hung with us. You know what I'm talking about? So, y'all don't count. Nigga rank on y'all. You know what I'm talking about? See, and I'm telling y'all that now, because I clown. Like I said, you know, me and my brother-in-law clown all the time. And when they're over here, we clown all the time. You can't be around me being no sensitive nigga.
Straight up.
You know what I'm talking about? Because you a sensitive nigga, your feeling get hurt easy. Man, when you keep messing with me, you better get some balls, nigga. You better man up. Yeah.
And yet you're wearing the same green.
Hey, I like mine. Man, it was just a mess with them. You know what I'm talking about? And they were pretty good. You know, they're from out east. You got to be quick on your toes. You from out east.
I hear it now every time we talk.
I'm just letting y'all know. I might climb you. I hope you don't get mad. I hope you ain't sensitive. I don't care if you climb me. That stuff ain't going to bother me. If it's funny, I might laugh. Oh, for real. That's just how we did pad time, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Change.
Yeah. I'm talking about, hey, I'm talking about sometimes, man, that take away from that laugh. You got take away from stuff you got going on, man, just for a little bit. Just relax you, man. Chill out. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just letting you know now. I ain't like I said, man. I used to go real hard, man. Last time I really ranked on somebody was in 12th grade, messing with Rasheem Mathis. That nigga came in there. He said, man, I want you to get top feet for me, man. I said, man, I don't rank on niggas no more. He said, just do it for me, bro. I said, all right. That's when that nigga first got them goals, man. That nigga looked like he had copper bullets in his mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I rolled that nigga for the whole gym period. That nigga was mad. He wanted to fight. I'll never forget that. I rolled that nigga so hard he wanted to fight. So when we came up out of there, out the gym, I remember it clear as day. He went to talking trash about Tasha. I said, come on, man, watch your mouth now. Because he was down there in our spot. So our whole team back there, Langston remember, that nigga's in the middle of talking trash. I'm standing in front of him. Langston behind him with the jacket. He don't even know this is nonverbal communication. He finna throw the jacket right over the nigga head. You know what I'm talking about? Fat Boy to the left, Breon to the right. We got about 6, 7 niggas sitting on the poles, 2, 3 niggas standing to the side. This nigga finna get molly hot.
Sitting on the poles.
You know what I'm talking about? He don't even know it. That nigga went and got a nut. Oh, y'all were gonna. He's like, y'all gonna jump a nigga, man. I ain't gonna. Hey, I'll tell the nigga like this here. I can't tell the niggas what to do.
But them is my niggas.
Truth be told, I could have told them what to do, because if I would have told them ease back, don't hit them, they would have fell back.
Crazy.
I'm being honest, the lesson in my life, if I would have said, you know what, give him a pass, niggas would have let him live. If I would have flinched, if I would have said, crack him, that nigga was done.
I'm talking about niggas, you the swarm, bro.
Oh, if I would have swung on him, that's tactic admission. Smash him, because I told you, Langston behind him with the jacket.
Yeah.
He finna mask you. Finna cover you up, and we finna do you. All of us going to jail.
Yeah, they looking at you. Yeah, nigga, if you gonna spark, we gonna spark.
Yeah, that's all of them waiting. You know what I'm talking about? Because they looked at you sizing him. See, I'm talking about, that's how we roll, man. Like I said, them two women was the only women rolled with her. So niggas looked at them as one of us. If you try one of them, you try all of us. Niggas can't try Big Carol. Nigga can't even walk, and Big Carol got a little bit more flank than the other one did, because she from our neighborhood. So a nigga can't walk up and say, nigga can't even call Carol fat. Hold on, what you say? Nigga say, you gotta call her Carol, you can't call her Big Carol. So you see her, she Carol. We see that Big Carol. Now Carol Bulldog. Ain't that something? Boy, how life changed. Oh, how life changed. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all sitting there like, nigga, I don't care nothing about all this stuff. But I'm just telling you, man. We used to have some fun when we were young. Know what I'm talking about? And I'm talking about a lot of it was marijuana free too. Straight sober. What we at though? Verse 13. I know y'all nigga, I ain't got no good sense. Pray for me. Say that Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do ye not serve my gods, no worship the golden image which I set up? Now if you be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand? Listen to what they told him. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. So they looked at, I'll rather glory of suffering for the word than going, I'm in this life. I keep the commandment. You notice each time these men were in a precarious situation where something evil was going to happen to them, who did they put their glory in? Because you got to look at this. What Jeremiah went through was a foreshadowing to the suffering of Christ, right? What Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the midst of a burning furnace, you know, Yahshua was put in the midst of the furnace of affliction, right? Y'all on here, y'all do know that, right? That these people going in this fiery furnace where their clothes were not burned nor singed. Because you look at Yahshua, he was not burned nor singed. Hold on, let's just look and see that there. I'll show you something now. Verse 21. Then these men were bound in their coats and their hose and in their hats and their other garments and were cast in the midst of the burning, fiery furnace. Drop down to 25. And he answered, and lo, I see those 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth out of the midst of the fire. And the princes and governors and captains and the king's counselors being gathered together saw these men upon whom the fire had no power, nor was a hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Look at Proverbs chapter 6. Verse 27. Yeah, that was hilarious. That we was on summer school then. Man, that nigga Otis rolled that nigga so hard he stopped coming to summer school. He said, can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burnt? Can one go upon hot coal and his feet not be burnt. He asking a question. Can this happen? When Yahshua went through fire, was his clothes burnt? Was his feet burnt? He said, Matthew chapter 20. That's what a lot of y'all don't look at. A lot of y'all don't want to go through the baptism that he was baptized with because you niggas soft as drugstore cotton. Man, we've been using that line for years and it fits. Because drugstore cotton pretty soft.
Same as every other cotton, man. Same as every other cotton.
Drugstore cotton's even softer. It's got to be for those nice, lovely pills that junkies like to use. Don't need nothing rough in the abrasion to mix with my Roxys.
They don't put any cotton in those.
Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children, with her sons worshiping him, and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, What wilt thou? She saith unto him, Grant thee that these my two sons may sit, the one on thy right hand, and the other on the left, in thy kingdom. But Yahshua answered and said, Ye know not what ye ask. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I be telling some of y'all when y'all be screaming, I prayed for this. You did not know what you asked for. Y'all heard that whole saying before, be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. Listen to what he said now. Yahshua answered and said, Ye know not what ye ask. So a lot of y'all said that you prayed for this and this is what you wanted. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? So you able to drink from that cup? You able to take the cup of that trembling? Y'all should know about it. We went through it in Isaiah 51. We've been through it in Psalm 75, Jeremiah 49. Y'all know about that cup. You gonna drink it? Look at Ezekiel chapter 8, because we just looked at this the other day and it was in my mind on Wednesday to go more in depth for. Because see, to get this circumcision of the heart, you're going to have to drink this cup. And to get this baptism, because Yahshua did, that's how he was able to be circumcised on that 8 days that you read in John chapter 20. To be able to fulfill Genesis 17 with a man-child being circumcised on the 8th day. Oh, y'all don't hear me though. Ezekiel 8:2. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward as the appearance of brightness, light, glory, as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of a hand, and took me by a lock of my head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and he brought me in the visions of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looked toward the north, where there was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoked to jealousy. So when we look at Deuteronomy 32, because we reference it, let's look at it. You don't sit back and look at it, you ain't going to be burnt up in that fire. You're going to have to be made pure. That's why Peter told you the trial of your faith is more precious than gold, though tried with fire. So how you going to be baptized with the baptism this man baptized with, and you don't want to get in that water? Deuteronomy 32:20. Make it 19. And when Yah saw it, he abhorred them because of the provokings of his sons and of his daughters. He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are very forward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountain. We know Yahshua, the foundation of the mountain, is the government. He sent that fire down to the lowest grave, didn't he? Burn him up. Luke chapter 12, verse 49. We sit back looking at that these men went in that fiery furnace and were on fire, but yet nothing touched them. You looking at Yahshua with burnt, say, can a man take fire and don't be no fire in his bosom? Can a man walk on hot coals and his feet not be burnt? Yahshua went through that fire, his feet weren't burnt. He stood in the midst of the fiery furnace. Now the hair on his head was singed, his clothes wasn't changed, and the smell of fire wasn't even on him. But yet he was burnt up to the core, wasn't he? because he had to take on the fire of y'all jealousy for your sins and abominations. You know, when you brought them strangers into his sanctuary, uncircumcised in heart and flesh, and polluted it. Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I be? And what will I if it be already kindled? But I have a baptism to be baptized with. And how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Baptism of fire. Baptism of suffering. Baptism of affliction. How else your heart going to be circumcised unless you be willing to take that? Because did he just tell them men, can you be baptized with the baptism I'm baptized with, drink the cup that I drink from? Let's go back to Matthew 20. Let's see what they told us. We still holding Galatians chapter 6. We finna come back to it in a minute. I'm finna let y'all go. In another 3 hours, that's what I said. Verse 23. And he said, hold on, 22 again. Yahshua answered and said, you know not what you ask. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, we are able. How many of y'all tonight can stand up and say you able to drink of that cup and take that baptism? Who able? So you mean to tell me nobody on here able to do it? That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. So you mean to tell me some of y'all been sitting around this time hearing all this word all the time and you're not able to do it? What that say about you? I mean, sit back and think about it. You done sat back and you done heard the word, you've been taught the word. The Lord has let us see various different things, and you not able to drink this man cup and to be baptized with his baptism with it. That's scary. That's scary. Woo-woo. Y'all scared me. Galatians chapter 6. Y'all scared me, boy. I ain't even funny. I ain't being funny. Whether you're struggling or not, you should be able to know I'm able to take that. Well, I sat back and looked early. I could take that. I sat back and looked at, the reason why I said I sat back and looked at I could take that is because I'm sitting back looking at the cup is taking on suffering. I've been suffering all my life. You know what I'm saying? So what's that? Niggas been calling me crazy. You know what I'm talking about? And all type of stuff since I was about 15 years old. So that didn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? People separating themselves from my company. That didn't bother me. Nigga kick rocks. I ain't never had a nigga. I ain't hard up for friends. And I wasn't hard up for no woman. You don't want to be here. Goodbye. You know what I'm talking about? For real though. Oh, for real though. I didn't care. And I know sometimes, especially women can take it like he's just so cold. He don't care. It's not that you don't care about the person, but I'm not going to be adversely affected by your departure or you staying. Because I still got to live. You know what I'm saying? I still got to live. I might mourn inwardly for a period. And then I got to go, I got to move on. I got to live on. I got to live a life. Because I'm not going to be devastated and broke down because I lose somebody and it make me don't want to eat. Don't make me want to deal with people. You know, some people lose somebody, and men and women, both of them do it. I can't put that just on women because some men do it too. They lose their old lady or the woman they with, she leave them. Nigga don't want to eat. They don't want to talk to nobody. Don't want to go outside. Man, ain't nobody finna have that much influence on my life where I don't want to eat. That's something totally wrong with you when somebody got that much hold on your heart the way you don't want to get proper nourishment for your body. I'm for real. to be something seriously wrong with you when somebody got that much hold on your heart that you don't want to physically get up out your bed and have interaction with other human beings. Something's wrong with that. Nobody should have that much sway and pull over your heart where they could affect your mental state in such a fashion. I would never allow anybody to affect me like that. The only way somebody leaving you should affect you in a hard matter is if they die. And at still at a period of time, you got to get over it. They gone. It was probably for the best. Huh? Well, praise the Lord. Sometimes it be for the best. I look at it sometimes, man. A lot of times when you done lost certain people, they left your life. It was usually for the best. It ended up coming out better, as they like to say in sports, addition by subtraction. You know what I'm talking about? That's just me. Look here, man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't just trying to be mean or you know what I'm saying, or nasty about it. It's because I'm telling you, man, when I was young, man, that girl, you just don't care. You're so nonchalant. It's not that I don't care. It's just my mental state is not going to be affected because you threaten to leave. Goodbye. He told me I might just leave. Goodbye. Like straight up. You remember her because you didn't like her. That was evident. You didn't like her. That was the only girl you didn't like. I remember that little mother said, I don't like her. I should have listened to little mother when she said that there. Son on her way. The mother was about 7, 8 years old then. That was something right there. It's very rare little mother pop up and say she don't like somebody. I brought her to the house. I said, little mother, what you think about her? She said, I don't like her.
Booty was eating that, so I had to keep her.
It wasn't even that there.
Yeah.
I can't even say all that there. Girl booty was hard as rocks. You know what I'm talking about? She was cool, but that nigga was crazy though. You know what I'm talking about? I'm a real peaceful dude, man. I don't be with all that stuff, all that arguing about. I don't be with all that stuff, man. You know what I'm talking about? Man, that nigga there used to be tripping. I'm talking about, I done had homeboy, man. I love them nigga, but man, I sit back and look at it, I can't mess with that nigga like that. My family ain't big, because I ain't got no people here. I'm thinking about that because there was a dude say, man, I ain't got no family in Florida. I started to tell that nigga, I ain't got no family here either, nigga. Nigga, ain't nobody here but my mama, my sister, and my cousin. That's all I got here. That's all I ever had, besides my auntie. Grandma and granddaddy, all them people dead. My people not from here. I don't know my daddy people. Ain't trying to know them. I ain't no different than some of y'all be coming here talking about you ain't got no people. I've been living here all my life and I ain't got no people here. Straight up. God forbid son have my mama. Only person left is Lil Muffin. That's my actual blood. And my cousin, but my cousin don't walk in the word. I'm telling you, man, y'all can't let the effect of trying to be with somebody, whether it's a relationship or your family or your friend, man, you can't let the fact of losing them affect your state or how you look at things and do things. That's crazy. That's crazy. Back to Ephesians chapter 6, about verse 14. I ain't never been one to do it, ain't gonna do it. Guess what? I'll put it to you this way before we go. I got love for all y'all who with us. But if the Lord was to tell me to get rid of you, I ain't going to lose a minute of sleep. I ain't going to think about you. I'm going to get your name out my phone. And I'm done with you. We done already lost, since we've been rolling, 4 people. I don't think about them niggas. All them niggas' names, numbers is out my phone. I say 5 because we had one acting like they want to do something. They were half-stepping. I got all their numbers out my phone. Don't think about them. You to pray for them. Get rid of you. Don't pray for you. None of that. You do not exist as far as I'm concerned. And it's that real. And I know some of y'all thinking, boy, that nigga, that's cold-blooded. How many of y'all thinking I'm cold-blooded right now by hearing that? No. That's what God just told you. That's the word. Remember, that's what he told Samuel. What you weeping for that nigga for seeing I rejected him? Get up and do your work. What am I sitting around here crying? I got work to do. I ain't finna be sitting around here crying about you. seeing God done rejected you. Matter of fact, let's look at it. 1 Samuel 16. Let's see, 1 Samuel 15, let me see, 35. 15 and 35. He said, and Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul. And Yah repented that he made Saul king of Israel. Now we sit back looking at that he mourned for Saul. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to remember the verse here, is what it said. I thought it was the beginning of verse 16, but it's not. I know we went about this about a long time ago. Y'all get nothing there. See, that's what I'm tell you. I'm not crying for none of you niggas. Not now one of y'all. And if you think I'm going to sit around and cry for you, you sadly mistaken. Obviously, you can't know me too well. You know what I'm talking about? Because I ain't the one to do it. 'Cause I'm telling you, man, I could lose you. And I'm talking about, man, after 12 hours, maybe 24, I'll be straight. I'll get over it. 24 hours at the most, man, I'll get over it. I don't be sitting around whining and crying about losing somebody. That stuff don't mess with me like that. I don't know about some of y'all. That stuff don't mess with me like that. How many of y'all got a mind where you could be able to do that? And I've been like that pretty much my whole life. Yeah, I've been like that my whole life. Yeah, it was what I wanted. Come on, here to 16. I'm looking like that and I didn't see what I'm looking. There it is, 16 and 1. Y'all said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul? Seeing I have rejected him for reigning over Israel, fill thy horn with oil, and go. And I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I provided me a king from among his sons. You know what he told him? Go do the work I got for you to do. You ain't got no business crying for that nigga. I cut him off. Some of y'all like that with y'all people and your family and your friends. You around here crying for people because God don't want them. You want God to want something he don't want. And you don't realize he don't want them because they hate his word. But all you look at is on the natural level. But my mama, she's so nice. Your mama is evil. Your mama is wicked. Your mama is a detestable sinner in God's eyesight. Your grandma, your granddaddy, your daddy, your friends, your sister, your brother. No matter how you view them, you better start looking at how does the Lord view them. And if you know they live in contrary to the word, then you know how he view them. You can't be looking at people and judging them according to how you view them. That'll get you in trouble. Come on back over here to Ephesians chapter 6. It'll get you in trouble. Because a lot of y'all be dealing straight in your feelings. And y'all know I ain't lying either. Y'all know I ain't lying. That's why y'all do some of the stuff you do. You're alright. But God forbid that I should glory. But God forbid that I should glory save in the cross of our Lord Yahshua the Messiah, by whom the world is crucified unto me, and I unto the world. You know, Paul told us in Romans chapter 12, right? What we supposed to do? Be ye not conformed to the world, but be renewed by the Spirit in your mind, offering yourself as a living sacrifice. This your reasonable service. So if you circumcised in the heart, then you should be dead to the world, and the world should be dead to you. Love not the world, neither thing in the world, for the lust of the world and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is of the world and not of the Father. He that loved the world hath not the love of God. He that doeth the will of God abide eternally. A lot of you niggas love the world. That's how I know your heart not circumcised. That's why you can't stand up and say you a Jew. You know you can't open your mouth and say you a Jew. Because then you know you are the synagogue of Satan. Because you blaspheme, because in your blasphemy you say you a Jew and are not. How many of y'all want to be Jews? Who's seeking to be a Jew? That's what it's about. Listen to what he say. For the Messiah Yahshua, neither circumcision avail anything, nor uncircumcision, but a new creature. Remember how we read in Genesis 34, he said that they would be one. Be one people, right? So he's sitting back talking about circumcision, you would be a new creature. We're going to look at something we used to look at a long time ago. Songs of Solomon, chapter 5. We're going to get out of it in a minute. Some of y'all need to get clean, stop playing. And a lot of y'all ain't going to mess around and wallow around in cow slop, but you wallow around and sin all day. Songs of Solomon 5 and 3. Telling you, man, first part of getting circumcised in your heart is putting them emotions away. Stop dealing with how you feel. Actually start looking at stuff logically and objectively and subjectively before you make a decision and open your mouth. That ain't even hard to do. All you got to do is just be patient. Weigh things out. Because you can't judge matters righteously when you're dealing with emotion. I have put off my coat. How shall I put it on? I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them? What did it mean by I put off my coat? You have to put off that body. You got to circumcise yourself. Because the law said in Deuteronomy 10 and 16, be ye no more stiff-necked, but circumcise the foreskin of your heart. Put that stuff off. John 3 and 1. How you think Yahshua was able to be circumcised? He went in the grave. That's why the 8th day, that's when he was complete, because he had to put off his coat. How am I going to put it back on? Remember he say by reason of, in Job, he say by reason of disease, I've changed my garment. After that, back to Galatians, but the 5th chapter. After this, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahshua by night. Said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God, for no man can do these miracles that thou do except God be with him. Yahshua answered and said unto him, Truly, truly, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahshua answered, Truly, truly, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I say unto thee, ye must be born again. You're going to have to put that coat off. See, in the book of Jeremiah, he told you, ye men of Judah, circumcise yourselves to Yah, and he'll dwell in this land. Going right back to when he told them, I'll give you this land as a covenant with this circumcision. In the land where you were strangers. Galatians 5 and 22. A lot of y'all don't want to put that stuff off. You want to keep it on. You niggas don't wear dirty drawers. I don't know, some of you niggas might. No, he just put you on out there, little muff. You gonna let him do you like this? Just shake her head. Galatians 5 and 19 actually. She said, you wear dirty drawers, nigga.
Can't wear the drawers. You don't have one, drawers.
Crazy. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are the Messiahs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lust. If you're going to belong to the Messiah, you're going to have to kill them emotions and desire. This is not the first time I done told y'all this. And guess what? If you still moving off your desires and your emotions, you have not died, which means you don't belong to this man at this present time. And all this sitting here coming back, we sitting there looking at those. Just why he telling you, man, circumcising your penis means nothing. Because Abraham was given circumcision after he believed. So like I told you, you can get circumcised in your penis and not believe. But you can't get circumcised in your heart and not believe, though. That's impossible. Y'all do know that, right? That's what my sister having a son, pregnant with a son right now. He can get out that womb, clip his penis. That don't mean he believe God's word because his penis got clipped. He hadn't even heard it yet. You know what I'm talking about? But that circumcision of his heart come, he hear the word and accept it and obey it and walk in it. That's what you after. That's why he told you circumcision don't avail anything but a new creature. You're going to have to become new. You're going to have to be born again. You're going to have to go from being a carnal man to a spiritual man. You can't keep me. You see, a lot of y'all problem is you trying to combine the two. Now, you know Paul told us in Romans chapter 8 that the law is enmity against the flesh is enmity against the law of God. It's not subject to it, neither indeed can be. You can't subject the word of God unto carnal behavior. Can't subject the word of God unto a carnal mind. You can't do it. You can't do it. We're going to look at two more places, get out of here. 1 Corinthians 7:19, just to beat this point home. Well, we're about 3 more. Just listen to what Paul said. Make it 18. 17 good. But as God has distributed to every man, as the Lord hath called every one, so let him walk, and so ordain I in all synagogues. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of God. You see where he's telling you, Jew or Gentile don't mean nothing. Let's look at the law. I mentioned earlier we would look at the law for this. Leviticus 24 and 22. This is how you know what you read in Acts chapter 20, Acts 15. These people got to live how we live. He said if you were called and uncircumcised, your penis was uncircumcised. Because guess what? Abraham was called and he was uncircumcised, wasn't he? Was not Abraham called and he was uncircumcised? All right, tell me something, man. I'm talking about, boy, y'all be working my nerves with that devil. If I got to ask a question 2-3 times, I wouldn't ask it. It's not rhetorical. Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country, for I am Yah your God. And Numbers 15 and 15. One ordinance shall be both for you of the congregation of the body, and also for the stranger that sojourn with you. An ordinance forever in your generations, as ye are, so shall the stranger be before Yah. One law, one manner shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourn with you. That's why you got to be stupid if you think all they had to do was not fornicate and don't eat things strangled with blood and don't mess with idols. You got to be dumb. You don't think the people had to do everything else. Their main issue was them people don't have to be circumcised in their penis to get the spirit to be saved. They got to be circumcised in their heart. That's what they were trying to express. That's why there was a dispute between Paul and the elders. Because the things that those people were saying was they couldn't be saved unless they were circumcised. Ain't that what they said? But you sitting back looking at that circumcision in your penis mean nothing. That means your confidence was in your flesh. It actually wasn't in God. It actually not in the Son. Come on back to 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Because we got to look at something now. Abraham was not circumcised when he was called. Now Isaac was. Jacob was. We even know in the book of Luke, and we'll look at the book of Luke, Yahshua was too. Verse 19, circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of God. Let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. Art thou called, being a servant? Care not for it. But if thou may be made free, use it rather. For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord free man. Likewise, also he that is called, being free, is the Messiah servant. Y'all understand what he's telling you right here? He said if you were a servant or a slave, so to speak, and you were called in the Lord being a servant, you actually free because you free in the Lord. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. But actually, if you were free, then you would be a prisoner of hope or a prisoner to the Lord, like Paul mentioned. You would actually be his servant. You see how he's trying to make the delineation? You see the difference? Because he's sitting there saying that there's no difference. You all the same. Whatever state you in, abide in it and walk in his word. Let's look at Luke chapter 2 so y'all can see what this man circumcised. Where he actually got physically circumcised. Luke 2 and 21. It says, and when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, his name was called Yahshua, which was so named of the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord, as is written in the law of Yah. Every male that opened the womb shall be called Kodesh to Yah. And you had to bring him up. Now, you see how we told you? You see how she had to wait to go into the sanctuary to present him? Because if you go with that thing, if a woman have a baby, then she's sinning too because she unclean when she had that baby. She just can't go in the sanctuary. Colossians 2 and 11, we going to pick up. Colossians 2 and 11. I didn't want y'all to hear that one thing. Keep that in your brain. In whom also ye are circumcised with the circumcision made without hands. You really see why this man is sitting here? Look, that circumcision of the penis is with hands. In whom also ye are circumcised with the circumcision made without hands, and putting off the body of the sins, by putting off the body of sins of the flesh by the circumcision of the Messiah, buried with him in baptism, wherein also you are risen with him through faith of operation of God, who have raised him from the dead. So we sit back and look at, we know that Yahshua was circumcised on the 8th day after he rose from the dead. We sit back looking at when we actually be born of God, and it's not going to literally like 8 days later, that's when you would get your circumcision in, wouldn't it? Because you'd be a new creature. Hold on, Galatians 3 and 26. Because we got to sit back and look at how they won people. Make it 27. What we read in Genesis 34. Clean it all the way up. Make it all the way tight. Yeah, everybody's cool. Is everybody all right this evening? It's wild because I only hear about 3 of y'all talking. Everybody be quiet. A nigga sleep, snoring, slobbing on their phone. Or slobbing on their pillow. For as many as you have been baptized in the Messiah have put on the Messiah. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one people. That's what Genesis 34 said, didn't it? You circumcise us. We all be one people. Ye are all one in the Messiah Yahshua. If you be the Messiah, then you are Abraham's seed and the heirs according to the promise. And we also look back, pray the Lord. Hallelujah for Yahshua. Y'all understood all this evening? You know, now we also sit back and look at same thing we seen in the book of Joshua. He went back and circumcised the people the second time that came out of Egypt, that came out of bondage. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you was right, Chantel. You ain't do nothing wrong. You all right. So we sit back and we look at that. He circumcised the people a second time because he was showing, because when it said it rolled the reproach of Egypt off of you, you know what I'm saying? And you go look back and you look at Luke 23, they rolled the stone back, which rolled the reproach of sin off of you, because the people sat back and look at that. It is a reproach unto us to be fooling with y'all. It was sin. But once God told Peter, he said, don't look at anything that I clean, call it common and unclean. He sat back and seen it wasn't a dishonor. They were just like us. That's why I thank the Lord for the word.